Well, hello everyone. Good evening to you. Sorry this video is a little bit late. I've had a nap after all my travelling, and news broke whilst I was just sleeping that Alexander Isak is allegedly not on the plane. The club have obviously put out a couple of pictures already, but he's nowhere to be seen in all the journals. And fair play to Craig Hope, who's got the first one out, saying that Alexander Isak has not travelled over here. Absolute bombshell. Absolute bombshell. My reaction to it, I've only just, as I say, found out 10 minutes ago. Yeah, I didn't really expect this. Not a travel. Is that the club saying that? Is that the player? Is it a mixture of both saying, look at the exploring these options? Is the phrase that's being thrown about at the minute? I am surprised by it. I still think he'll stay at Newcastle this season, but I think he's off next summer. With Liverpool almost, if they haven't already signed Howe Ekitike, I can't see Liverpool buying that worth of 150 million plus that we'll want from him, or whether it's a move to Saudi Arabia. A move to Saudi Arabia basically kills his career, I think. He's better than that. He's bigger than that. He doesn't need to go to a weaker league. And yes, we are owned by PAF, of course, so I'm probably being a little bit contradicting. But he can play for a top team across Europe, the Real Madrids, your Barças, your Bayerns and stuff like that. Who's going to come in from if that was the case, because it'll test the mantle. And obviously his head has been turned and he wants to go on. And you look, we're fortunate enough to have one of the world's best five out-and-out centre forwards. You're talking Harry Kane's, Alexander Isak's, Alfie, Erling Haaland, Lewandowski, but a couple of them are in their 30s already. So really, for the next decade, you've got Haaland and Isak who are your proper out-and-out strikers. Because Mbappe is not really, is he? But look, he deserves to play for an elite club. Of course he does. We're lucky that we've got him. Can Newcastle match his ambitions? Obviously, we've qualified for the Champions League. We've obviously won a cup. Do Newcastle turn to Alexander Isak and say, right, we'll let you go, but give us one more season? I think that's what it's likely to be at this stage right now. Am I worried about it? Yes, because Newcastle don't have a striker. So we've got 3 games over here: Arsenal, Spurs, and the Korean 11. We're not going to be playing with an out-and-out striker. It's probably going to have to be Will Asula, and then the under-21 lads, which are going to be mixed between Ben Parkinson and Sean Neve. At the minute, that's not good enough for Newcastle. Newcastle need to get a couple of signings through the door, especially a striker. Now we're linked heavily to Johan Vissant. It looks like we've gone back in for him again. So I wanted to have a look at what the journals have saying. Please get your comments coming in as well, because I feel a little bit, I don't know, not a little bit down. I would say a little bit down, because I didn't think Isak would do this if it's on his accord. If it's by the club, then fair enough. But you're talking the game against Celtic he's missed. He's now going to miss 3 more. So there's 4 games in total of pre-season. He's already behind schedule. Can he get him up to speed when we return for the 2 games at the Cellar Cup? Is he trying to force a move out the door? If he is, get all the money up front, 150 million, go and get two strikers that can score goals, because you're talking 150 off Isak. You've already got money in the kit already, so you could go out and get 2 class strikers. Not in the calibre of Isak, because I think there's not many, but the next bracket down that could potentially grow into that role. Someone like a Benjamin Sesko, who I've said, but not good news, is it? Let's have a look at what the journals have said. Craig Hope has gone on to say that Alexander Isak tells Newcastle he wants to explore a move away from the club. And then we start scrolling up. Keith Downey's then gone on to say Alexander Isak has now informed Newcastle United that he wants to explore his options this transfer window as per Craig Hope. There has not been a formal transfer request to date. There have been conversations about a new contract at Newcastle over the last few months. However, at this stage, nothing has materialised. Isak has 3 years left on his deal, so the club are in a strong position in terms of Isak's value, which is 150 million. Newcastle say he was left at home due to a minor thigh issue, and a long-haul flight wouldn't have helped his recovery. I don't know about that. Liverpool have made an informal approach last week before signing Howe Ekitike, but they remain interested in Isak, and Isak has been affected by the speculation and wants to weigh up his options. David Owenstein's then gone on to say Isak wants to leave Newcastle, absence from Celtic friendly and Asia's tour 25-year-old's preference. Newcastle keen for the Sweden international to stay on an improved deal, but also exploring potential replacements. And of course, advanced talks, Downey's gone on to say, with Vissa. Further talks happening today at Brentford over the future of Johan Vissa. Newcastle had a £25 million bid turned down, but are in discussions over a £35 million package. The player wants to leave and is currently training on his own in London. I'm told Newcastle is moving towards a conclusion. Newcastle want him to be an option to Alexander Isak this coming season. So interesting. Vissa seemed to be forced to move out. Is Isak doing this as well? And Mark Douglas has then gone on to say how Newcastle will respond after Isak bombshell. Not for sale stance from Newcastle remains, but Isak clearly unsettled. Contingency planning with Sesko claims considered. Liverpool have PSR room. And has Isak made a strategic error? So there you go, everyone. So that is what the journals are saying. Obviously, this is a developing story, as I say. We're in a very, very weak position now with Callum Wilson leaving. And now Wilson's not always fit, don't get me wrong. However, we haven't got a striker in pre-season, and it's a massive headache for Eddie Howe. And look, I know that one of the journals have said there that it's down to a minor injury. I'm not buying that. I'm not buying that at all, because you can still take the player and be amongst the squad, amongst the camp and so on. Because we've seen in the past that injured players sometimes still come along. So I'm not buying that, me personally. I think it's been played up. He hasn't got an injury. Not a severe one to miss another 3 more games. Take him with him. Let him gel. Maybe his pals can lift him. But will he go this summer? No, I think it'll be next summer. I do. You don't want to keep an unhappy player. You maybe need to do a deal with him. And don't be surprised that he signed a contract, but there's a release clause pull in there. Don't be surprised by that at all. Does that mean anything for me? Not really. If he signed a contract, does it mean he's staying? Short term, but long term, I think Isak will play for one of the bigger clubs. Unfortunately, Newcastle are not right up there, but we are making slow progress with the whole PSR carry on. But a lot more fan events are coming. I'll ask some fans their opinion on it as well. Obviously, we've got the match of the weekend, and then we'll flip the attention to South Korea for a week. But my end of day one here in South Korea, not South Korea, end of day one here in Singapore, and it's met with a bombshell. So we'll have to wait and see then what he says about Isak, Eddie Howe, when he's on media duties. But I wonder if anyone will ask the question, because we've got a Q&A with the first team coming up short. I wonder if anyone's brave enough to ask that question about Isak. We'll see. I'll bring you that as well. But that's it from me, everyone. Let us know how you feel about all that, because I feel a bit... But I love yous and leave yous. Ta-ra.